Hello everyone, this is Christina here. Today I'm going to show you how to make this fairy tales carriages. Okay, but in this particular video, I'll be only showing you how to make these two here. This is carriage number 1 and this is carriage number 2. And I will upload another video to show you how to make carriage number 3 and carriage number 4. As these two require another technique of hooking, so I will show you later on in the other video. Okay, to make these two carriages here, we'll need 2 hooks. Okay, that I think it will be easier for us to have 2 hooks to hook around for this design later on. Even though if you have a double-ended hook, I still recommend you to have 2 hooks ready for this carriages. Okay, and we do need a scissor, but this is optional. Okay, and I have already remade this bands with beads. Okay, I will need to have 1 band with a bead and 1 band with 2 beads. This is for one carriage and this will be for another carriage here. Okay, and now without wasting your time any further, let's get started. First, we need to do a cap band. Okay, then we have to take 3 bands and slide this cap band over and reclaim. Okay, then we have to take a single band, slide the first 2 bands over and pick up the second band back on the hook and reclaim. Okay, and we have to take another single band, slide the first 2 bands over and reclaim. Alright, if you are using a double-ended hook, you may slide all your bands over now, and I'm just going to transfer all my bands over to another hook. Okay, we have to do the same thing over the side. So we have to take a single band, slide the first 2 bands over and pick up the number 2 bands back on the hook and reclaim. Okay, then we have to take another single band, slide the first 2 bands over and reclaim. Okay, and now is when we use another hook to help us. Okay, we have to transfer 5 bands out to this hook here. So transfer 5 bands out. Okay, just like this, and then we have to pick up a single band. Okay, a single band and slide the first 2 bands over and reclaim. Okay, and now we have to transfer these 3 bands here over to this hook, which has already 5 bands on it. Okay, then now we have to pinch the number 4th band, okay, over the hook and let go. we have to do the same thing over this side. Oops, I just knocked on my camera. Sorry. Okay, same thing. The fourth band, pinch, bring it over the hook and let go. Okay, we can always adjust this bands later on. Alright, but now what we need to do is to pick up this center band here, this center band. Okay, so I have to let these 3 bands out and then pick up the 2 center bands back on the hook. Okay, and reclaim back to these 3 bands. Alright, so now I would like to talk a little bit about this band here. Okay, that we are going to adjust it later on after we have completed the charm. But this band here is actually optional. As you can see, the band will be this band here. Alright, some of the people has actually feedback to me that they don't like these bands here hanging. Okay, if you don't like the bands here, then you can skip the step that I have just shown you. Okay, but seriously, I think with these bands on it, it looks a little bit cuter. Okay, but it's entirely up to you that if you want to keep this band or not. Alright, so now back on this. Okay, we have to take a single band with a bead. Okay, and we got to make sure the bead is actually in the center, which will be 4 bands on each side of the bead. Okay, so slide all the bands over. As this bead is actually a little bit bigger, and what I will do normally is to take another hook to help me a little bit. So I will move 4 bands like this, 4 bands over to the other side. Okay, you can use whatever way that you think is easier for you, but I think this is easier for me in this way. And then reclaim this band back. Reclaim this band on the hook. Okay, so now we'll have to take a single band, which I suggest a black band will be better. Okay, slide these 2 bands over, and then now what we need to do is to turn your hook in the center of the bands here. I'm using black here, so I will say in the center of the black bands. Okay, and pull the glitter bands out from the black band. Okay, like this. Can you see? Okay, this will be acting as our wheels that we are going to attach later on. Okay, this is the bottom of the carriage, and for the other side I will use another hook to help me. So same thing, I will turn my hook around, go into the center of the black band, pull this glitter bands out from the black band, and this will look like this now. Okay, so we have just completed the bottom of the carriage, and now we have to attach the wheel. So we have to take a band with 2 bits. Okay, and what we need to do is to move these 2 bands into the center of in between these 2 bits here. Okay, to secure this whole charm in here, as we are not going to do any slip knot. Okay, so again I will use another hook to help me to move these 2 bands over the bead. Okay, you may use whatever method that you think is easier for you. Alright, so we are about to complete our first carriage. Carriage number 1. Okay, as you can see, this band here is a little bit longer. Okay, that we can always use our scissor to trim them a little bit. Okay, you can cut in this way. Okay, this is optional because I know some of the people, they actually don't like to cut their bands. Okay, it's optional. It's entirely up to you how you want your carriage to look like. Okay, but I will trim a little bit here. Okay, so your carriage will look like this, and of course we have to adjust a little bit of the band, which is already gone up here. Okay, if you are using a very big beads like me, that I'm using a bigger beads here compared to the one here. Okay, these top bands here, it will tend to curl up because your bead has already pushed the bands up. But let me see if I can still adjust this here. Even if he has curled up, I think it will give you another look of your carriage. It's actually not too bad. Okay, yes, I can adjust it here. So I will adjust it a little bit more off the camera, and I will post a photo of it on my Instagram. Okay, I will adjust it later. So basically your carriage 1 will look like this. Okay, and now let's move on to carriage 2. Okay, but same thing, there will only be a step different than carriage 1. Okay, so we have to take a band and do a cap band, just like this, and 3 bands. The 3 bands, and slide this cap band over and reclaim. Okay, for this charm, I think, okay, personal preference, I think the limited edition bands from Rainbow Loom will hold the shape nicer compared to the jelly bands. I'm about to say jelly beans. Jelly bands or opaque, okay? Now I have to transfer and do the same thing over the other side. Okay, take a single band, slide the first two bands over and pick up the second band, reclaim, take another single band, slide the first two bands over and reclaim. Okay, so will be the same thing. And now what we need to do is to use another hook to help us around. Same thing, transfer 5 bands out to another hook. And now instead of taking 1 band, we have to take 2 bands. Okay, slide the first 2 bands over the 2 bands and reclaim. Okay, and then now we have to transfer these 3 bands over to the hook which already have 7 bands on it. Okay, so now what we need to do is to pinch the number 4 band up and over the hook, and we have to do the same thing over the other side. Okay, so this will be the only difference that we add on an extra band. Okay, and we are not going to pick this up, so this is actually a variation of the carriage one. Okay, so again, same thing. If you don't like this band here, okay, you may skip this stage here, which means instead of 2 bands that I have add on, you only need to add on a single band. Okay, and you don't need to pinch the bands and bring it over the hook. All right, so now we have to take a single band with a bead. Oops, sorry. Okay, and make sure the beads is in the center, which means 4 bands on each side. Okay, again, I think this will be easier. Yep, this will be easier, so I don't need to use another hook to help me bring the bands around. Okay, reclaim. Okay, so, and now we have to take a black band or whichever color band that you like. Slide the first 2 bands over, and now it's the same thing. We are going in the center of the black band, pull out the blue glitter bands that I'm using here. Okay, make it a little bit tighter. Alright, then I'm going to use another hook to help me up on this side. Okay, go into the middle of the black bands and pull the glitter bands out. Okay, and here come to our last stage with me attaching the wheel. So take a single band with 2 beads, slide these 2 bands over and make sure it's in the center of these 2 beads here, because it's acting as a secure function, as we are not going to do any slip knot. Okay, alright, we are almost done. Okay, so if you're using big chunk, sorry, it's not big chunk, use a big bead like me, this tall chunk will tends to pop to one side, but that's okay. Alright, so same thing, you may trim a little bit here and there and adjust your bands a little bit. Okay, and this will be your carriage number 2 that I will not cut it here. Okay, so here will be the 2 carriages, and I hope you'll enjoy doing this with me. Don't forget to tag me in your variations, okay, or your renditions of your carriage or carriages. Okay, I will see you all again soon. Bye.